My name is Michael Schwartz. I'm the chef and owner of the Genuine Hospitality Group.
I won the James Beard Award for Best Chef South in 2010.
Hello, the king of South Florida hospitality. This is a very, very special episode. We're the king.
We take good ingredients, just respect them, cook them simply, present them simply.
I mean, my life revolves around food, and so I don't eat to live, I live to eat.
Hey there, this is Leon from the Chorus Collective podcast. Before we dive in, we want to acknowledge the audio in this episode isn't as crisp as we have hoped. Our partner studio unfortunately misplaced the recording files and we had to make the most out of the camera audio. Out of the deep respect of Chef Michael Schwartz, a James Beard Award-winning culinary icon and a Miami legend, we wouldn't let this conversation go unheard. We're excited to share his insights and we hope you stick around through the bumps. If you enjoy this episode, please like and subscribe and leave us a review. This means the world. Now, let's get into the conversation with Chef Michael Schwartz.
Chef Michael Schwartz. Hello, the king of South Florida hospitality. Coined by someone. Maybe us.
We'll see.
I think it might have been me.
Oh, do you have like a...
I've never heard that.
Maybe there's...
I've been called the king of a lot of things.
Oh, I don't even know if I want to ask what.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say. Let's stay with hospitality.
Well, hospitality is a pretty vague term.
Indeed, but it is my life. So let's say that hospitality relates to restaurants.
Restaurants.
In this scenario.
Understood. Genuine hospitality. Yes.
Yeah, I would say we wish more people lived by hospitality rules in other industries.
In other industries.
Yeah.
I think that's always something I've always thought about.
Rules to live by.
Constantly.
Yes.
Nevertheless, we're here today. This is a very, very special episode.
We are here. We're here.
We're eating.
Yeah, right here in front of us, we have made-free beforehand. Is out of his pizza, German pizza book. His meatball. His appetizer meatballs. So if we want to dive in and start getting those taste buds.
Sure. I always say when someone cooks something from a recipe I made, which is all the time in the restaurants, you know, if something's really good, I'll take credit for it. And if it's bad, I'll just blame it on whoever made it. So they didn't make it right, you know, but doesn't everyone do that?
I think it's not just for cooking. That's
It's some people say I'm a glory hound, but this should be pretty good. They look good. They smell good.
Look good. Smell good.
Mm-hmm. That's a meatball.
Yeah, it's a meatball. It's something to have on midday on a Thursday.
Leon, how was following the recipe?
It was quite easy.
Yeah.
The only thing was we didn't have a oven-safe Dutch oven thing, so we had to. You could see that shot.
You improvised.
Exactly. That's part of the culinary house.
Yeah, for me, part of the magic of writing a recipe is like the details.
Right.
And what I found in writing 2 cookbooks and working with publishers is that they want everything edited because everyone has a short attention span. Right? And so they always want you to edit it. But really the magic of it is explaining something to somebody like you were there and not just letting them sort of interpret what they think you mean. And so we sort of split the difference for that book. There's a good amount of detail. Now books have like QR codes and have like in-process videos and things like that.
Do you like that?
I do. I just think the more, if you have to guess what something's supposed to look like or the texture or the technique, that's not as great as watching a video to say, this is what it looks like.
Could there be like a teach a man to fish concept here though? You know, perhaps the cookbook is just a way to get to the water.
Sure, but I always say, like, if you're gonna cook from a book or use a recipe, like, use the recipe. If you want to improvise, then do that the next time. Like, when I cook from a recipe, I follow the recipe. I weigh everything out, I measure it, and then I do the process. And then after, I can assess and say, well, I can think of a better way to do it, or an easier way to do it, or a totally different way to do it. But I always give the author of the recipe the respect and the benefit of the doubt right? To learn that recipe the way they intended it to be. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So how did you learn how to cook initially, though? Because someone
Yeah.
tells me that it wasn't from reading books.
Yeah, no, it was not for
Yeah.
reading books. I can tell you that the world today is a lot different than it was when I started cooking. So I started cooking 45 years ago. I got my first restaurant job as a busboy. And then worked my way into the kitchen and then worked my way up. And I never went to culinary school, and I learned from working under great chefs and traveling and reading. But then to read, you had to go, so it was like magazines or books that you either bought or got from the library. There was no, I mean, I hate to date myself, there's no internet, you know, and so there was libraries or book collections and magazines and conversation.
Right.
And now you can pretty much learn anything by watching a YouTube video. And so, but I learned from just working under great people and, like I said, traveling, moving around, and being curious.
So when you were learning, though, is there like a certain person that was there for you? Because you know, there are a lot of people on the show that are just starting, you know, their process, starting to understand what their craft is. Perhaps it's not cooking, but at an early stage, who was there for you?
I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a mentor early on in your career or in your life, then you're lucky, right? And that's a blessing, you know? And so for me, I had various mentors that were sort of unlikely or that I happened upon, but I didn't like have a plan. Like I wasn't 16 and I was like, I'm gonna find a mentor. You know, I just sort of bounced around and took advantage of opportunity and found myself in a position where I was working under people that cared about what they were doing or that took a liking to me or both. And that's how I sort of built my education throughout my career. But mentorship, you know, I mean, if you're lucky to find somebody that can take you under their wing and really teach you, man, latch on to that.
So you're James Beard Award winner.
Yeah.
Who are the mentors along the way that made you get to that?
Yeah, it's a good, there's a lot of them, but I'll tell you that, you know, and so like, you see like Wolfgang Puck wrote the foreword to my pizza book, and he was a mentor. Although I only worked for him for a short time. And he's a well-known, although a lot of young people don't know who Wolfgang Puck is. But for me, he was really important in gastronomy and the culinary world when I was coming up. But so famous people like Wolfgang Puck, but I remember winning the Beard Award, and I knew that I had to thank my real mentor that sort of really pushed me at an early age, and no one knows who he was. His name's Frank Crispo. You don't know him. Nobody knows him. And
Shout out Frank.
But shout out to Frank. People in New York know Frank, and he's an OG. And so he was one that I got to work for early on that really pushed me. There was no limits. You know, if I worked 80 hours a week, he was there 90 hours a week. If I came at 8 in the morning, he'd already be there. If I was going to outlast him, he would just be there until I left. And so I thanked Frank. He was a huge mentor, but there was a lot of people between unknown Frank Crispo and superstar Wolfgang Puck along the way that taught me things. And it could be, you know, the prep cook that we worked next to, or the dishwasher, or the sous chef. So there was a lot, and it's been a fun ride. And still to this day, I get to work with young people in my restaurants that teach me things every day. Sometimes it's teach me what I don't want to do, but oftentimes they teach me things that I didn't know before.
Yeah, and I think there's a concept too, not just learning from the people, right, but also just learning from your surroundings, right?
Yeah, and
going
learning
to
from
different
yourself.
places. Yeah,
You know, it's pushing yourself. So if you're not lucky enough to find a mentor, make the best out of the people that you work with, and everyone can be a mentor. There's things that we can learn from people, no matter what their skill level or background is. So that's my advice.
And so moving from the initial, you know, the James Beard Award, which you won in 2010 for the South,
Yeah.
incredible.
Thank you.
And then we're moving on to the Michelin world, which
Yeah.
you know, started in Miami a few years ago,
Yeah.
right? Michael's genuine, got a bid Gourmand,
Yeah.
2022, 2023.
Yep.
How did that come about?
Well, I don't know. They came in and they thought it was a bit Gourmand. worthy, which is great for me, you know, because really the truth is, like, when I opened Michael's Genuine, and we'll celebrate our 18th anniversary coming up in the early 2025.
Going to college.
It was never, that wasn't the intent. The intent was to open a place that I felt like was an extension of my personality, that I wanted to be in and cook what I liked, and hopefully people would, you know, that they would get some traction and people would like that. And it did, and it was never built to win awards. Some chefs really modeled their career around these awards, particularly Michelin.
Right.
And I didn't do that, and I thought it was unlikely that I would win a beer award, and I was flattered that I did. It really changed my life and my career. But fast forward to Michelin, Michael's Genuine, in my opinion, is a bib gourmand restaurant, and that's fine with me. We never paid attention to Michelin because Michelin wasn't in South Florida until recently.
Right.
So, and I've been here 30 years. So most of my career was just focused on doing what I do, supporting local farmers and using as much local product and teaching people and cooking good shit that people like to eat. And so Michelin came, and I didn't really pay that much attention to it, although you could get caught up in it. You know, it's like when I was nominated for the Beard Award the first year, I didn't win. And then everyone will say, well, I was just happy to be nominated, which is like bullshit.
Yeah.
Because once you're nominated, you want to win. And so I didn't pay much attention to Michelin, except when, you know, I got a call to say, will you come to the awards ceremony? And I was like, oh, maybe we got a star. Mm-hmm. Then you get all caught up in this star thing. But I'm just happy that we are still relevant 18 years later, and that people still go to our restaurants and like what we're doing, and because the industry has changed so drastically.
Right.
And I like to think that we have evolved in a way that kept us relevant.
So how does the Michelin, since arriving, how does that affect the Miami landscape from your perspective?
It's a good question, and I don't know the answer. I would speak more to post-COVID influx of out-of-towners flocking to South Florida.
Because that's where it's Michelin, it's a travel.
Yeah, as it relates to Michelin though, I don't know the answer to that. I think that it piqued the interest of chefs that play to that, or that cook that way.
Right.
And it's not the way I cook, but so I respect that, but it's just not what I do. So I don't know how it's changed the landscape. I do know that post-COVID, the influx of people and restaurants has changed the landscape in terms of salary structure and pay rates and pay scale and cost of living and cost of ingredients and doing business. It's just gotten way harder.
So for people that don't know Chef Michael Schwartz,
Yeah.
what do you guys want to achieve if you're not Michelin? How do you guys build Genuine?
I mean, you know, if you look at Michael's Genuine logo, it's fashioned after like an old-fashioned beer label. I don't even drink beer. I kind of like beer. Beer doesn't like me back, so I'm out of here. But the tagline is fresh, simple, and pure. And that's sort of what we live by. We try to source good ingredients, hopefully local or from reliable sources, relationships that we build with farmers or artisans, and then just don't muck it up. Like, so keep it simple, edit the dishes so there's not a million ingredients and a million touches and tweezers, and serve food that people like. And some of it is comfort food in that they're familiar with it. Doesn't mean it's meatloaf and mashed potatoes, but there's some comfort level if you recognize something. And some of it, you know, pushes you a little bit. If it's a pork neck or it's a chicken, a liverwurst that we've been playing with lately, or things that sort of aren't comforting to most people. Some people it is. I grew up eating liverwurst, so I wanted to make it, But that's what we do. We cook, we take good ingredients and just respect them, cook them simply, present them simply, and let people come and eat and enjoy it. It's not about the pomp of like, we call them Clubstaurants.
Clubstaurants.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Miami. Miami's the king of Clubstaurants.
Like snobs, food snobs?
No, a Clubstaurant is where you go and it's like a club, but there's food, right? And so, you know, it's a party. And it's expensive, and there's bottle service, and there's sparklers, and there's short skirts, and that's all great. It's sort of what Miami's known for, a lot of flash, but we're not. You know, we just cook good food, and hopefully the crowds can look at it or not. I don't care. You know, as long as there's a crowd, and that's what we do. So.
Do you think that the impact of social media on the restaurant business has lent itself
Yes.
towards? Okay, yeah. No, it's had a massive impact, but do you think it's lent itself maybe towards actually, instead of showcasing the flashiness, because honestly, maybe sometimes at those Clubstaurants, people don't want to show on social media exactly what they're doing.
Right.
But maybe also has provided people like you who believe in, you know, that great food concept, right? The concept that food comes from great ingredients, to have the nuance to be able to tell their story.
No, I think social media has amplified every point of view.
Every point of view.
Right? Like everything. And so, and for better or for worse, you know, it's like if you can keep up with social media, and man, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm on it, and I'm active, but it's like, man, you can either feel real good about yourself or feel like you're a piece of shit because you're not as good as the people living their best life on Instagram, you know. And so, but it's definitely amplified restaurants in general, the food that they're doing, the excitement, and you know, look, part of going to a restaurant is entertainment, but for me, it should be part of it. It shouldn't be the whole thing.
So, Chef, how do you balance that out in your planning for your restaurant group?
Yeah.
Because when you first started, I'm sure social media didn't exist, right? Cell phones weren't a thing, right?
That's right.
And now, I presume, when you start something new, it has to be like a major part of the business plan process, right? Like, maybe just give us some insights. Because I think that there's a lot of things that people can learn from this, that it's not just about starting a restaurant, but also about a perspective that's informed from before all this BS that surrounded us was even remotely, forget about being present, possible.
Yeah. So my answer is I just don't open anything. It's just like I sit on the sidelines right now because it's like watching a freaking parade, you know. And since COVID, really, we've shrunk. Our hospitality group has shrunk, and part of it was pruning off like dead wood restaurants that were underperforming, and then some of them were COVID casualties. And then we were faced with opportunity to start ramping up again, and we sat it out. And I'm glad we did, because Miami's super saturated.
Right.
Like everybody moved here in 21 and 22. And then everyone, and they're still opening restaurants, and it's oversaturated. And so we've sort of sat on the sidelines. But I will say that, to answer your question, it's totally different. And you have to consider all of those things, or not. I mean, you could be totally contrary and just say, I'm just gonna do what I think I wanna do. And I totally respect that approach. I'm gonna do what I do, I'm gonna make a stand, I'm not gonna be, you know, I'm not gonna be dictated by social media or social expectations. I'm just gonna do what I do, which is what I did when I opened Michael's Genuine, but it was a different landscape.
Right.
But I would like to think that, you know, if and when we start opening restaurants again, that it'll be by those ethos and not dictated by Instagram.
Yeah, I think that becomes super relevant. I mean, a concept in like startups and entrepreneurship that we think about a lot is founder market fit, or, you know, here it would be for a restaurant owner, you know, owner market fit or chef market fit, right? Understanding that if you as a chef, you as a person that are running your own business are not comfortable with that, what you're doing, you're not going to be able to run a successful business.
Well, that's the bottom line, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I mean, if you don't believe what you're selling, then you're not going to sell it.
Yeah, and today, like on social media, it's so easy to fall for, honestly, like scams, right? It's like all these random things, like people selling luxury cars out of nowhere, right? Like there's like so many random things that are popping on that people just want to do to make a quick buck, but then they don't have it in their heart, right?
Yeah.
And being a restaurant owner, especially, like food is a part of who you are, right? You don't want to let that, you're letting people into your brain by having tried food.
Look, I think inherently you're exposing yourself. You know, as a chef, you're exposing yourself anyway. You're putting your work out there to criticize, and that's been amplified, right? And so, you know, I don't know. I don't have like the answer to those sort of questions, except to say, you know, like do what makes you happy and what you're proud of, and that what you're passionate about, and that that can never be the wrong thing.
But in contrary, social media, it helps everyone. I feel like it's a visual learner. It helps people get into the space, especially during COVID. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up staying up all night watching celebrity chefs cook and go to school super tired, but like that was my passion growing up. So, what are your thoughts on that side?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because there's so much good that comes from the easy access to information, right? But with that comes all the other stuff. So I would ask you, like, how do you balance it, right? Because you're the generation that grew up with that, and that you're just like, it's overwhelming. Like I could tune it out, or I'm older, right? And so I've seen different generations, but I wonder how your generation deals with that and how it makes you feel about your work, your self-worth, how you feel about yourself, like all of those things. It's complicated.
It's complicated, but at the same time, it's clear, right? Like how you feel about yourself and your self-worth usually, I think, becomes less than you would want it to be. Or you feel worse about yourself and your self-worth. And
for me, that's how does that play into what motivates you, and then what you think of as success, and then how you measure that in your life, right? And it'll change. It's still changing, but the information and the pace in which it comes at you is overwhelming. I have kids that are probably your age, and I talk to them all the time about how they deal with that, and it's hard. And it goes in waves. Sometimes they're doing great. Sometimes there's, depression sets in, and doubt and all that shit. So, I mean, it's complicated. Just like opening restaurants now, super complicated. It used to be easy. Get a restaurant, get a phone, you had a book with a pencil for reservations. Now it's like platforms and software and hardware.
Are there platforms and software from the supply side, like when you're managing suppliers too?
There's software platforms for everything, and it's just like Instagram. Like it could be super helpful, but then it could be like overwhelmingly confusing, right? And then the platforms that don't latch on and talk to each other, and then you get one, and then you want another one, and it doesn't talk to this one, so then you have to try another one to help link it. That to me is super confusing because my brain's not wired that way.
Yeah, I hope that some restaurant software owners are listening, or people that want to create that type of software.
Just simplify it, man.
It's really something that we saw as the first business that we and I worked on together, we sold sustainable products to restaurants, including yours, actually. We sold some sustainable straws to my business anyway. And made some really, really cool ones. Hopefully, maybe you still have some. I don't know what they're used for, but so regardless, people really, it was interesting. People really trusted us to be able to create products for them, physical products.
Yeah.
And it was to the point that because we were, young and like new kids on the block, people also started to ask us if we could get into the software component, because that was just the level of trust that our team had. We had a team of literally all students, and we figured it out to get into really big name restaurants like yours around the country, not just in New York where we were based, but also down here in Miami. And one of the things that we even tried to do was create something we called it the Hub. Shout out Nisarg Patel, my co-founder back then. he created this whole system that was supposed to do inventory management, and now like Toast and all that's like kind of getting into that. But it's so crazy to see just like the level of need that was perceived by some restaurant owners for more software. My grandparents used to own restaurants growing up. Both of my grandparents, on my dad's side, he owned a cafe that like a lot of classic. I'm a New Jersey Italian. So that's my background, like classic all the way through.
Right.
And so like
North Jersey,
yeah, right across the bridge from here. So that's my background.
Yeah, but then I think that, like people that develop software don't think like cooks. Like most of the people that are in the restaurant business
Yeah.
are there because they don't want to be in corporate America, right? And a lot of them are less educated, and for a long time, sort of misfits that all sort of migrated to this industry, right? And so, a lot of the programs, like you brought up Toast. We use Toast. We were an early adapter of Toast, but you can't use Toast for inventory management. They don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And so there's a platform for it, but it's like half baked. So you have to find another platform that you hope communicates with Toast, right? So that you're not doing extra data input, and it's infuriating. So,
I don't think we expect to get software startup ideas from this episode, but listen, Chef,
don't hit me up for software.
That is exactly the type of conversation we seek to have on the show. And listen, ideas are everywhere.
Yeah, ideas are everywhere. Just not every idea is a good idea.
That's true too.
So going back,
We've seen plenty, trust us. We do this, we love people, we've seen some.
so going back to COVID, you said there was a exodus to Miami.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it kind of gentrified the culture here in Miami into food and
Yeah, I mean, it changed a lot of things, right? Like I said, it blew up the pay scale.
Yeah.
It split the pie in, a million pieces. But, in some ways it challenged operators that were here to do better or be better or to be on their toes. But, at the end of the day, we'll see, like it's 2025, right? And is it sustainable? And so, I don't know, man. Miami's expanded like crazy. Big restaurants are still opening. Like, I don't know how you build a restaurant out for $20 million and make money. Like the return on that. So, and there's, I can rattle off a dozen $20 million build outs that have either opened in the last year or are going to open in the next 6 months. And I don't get it. And I don't think it's great for Miami.
in terms of the restaurant business and ghost kitchens, deliveries?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
So that was always like a weird thing for me. And I think that that's settled down now. Like, I think it was really, I think it was important through COVID. I think people found comfort and convenience out of that. But that was way inflated too, And, I mean, part of what makes a restaurant great is that it's a place to connect, And there's always a need for delivery service and food and sometimes, but in some ways I feel like the ease of getting food delivered to your home has made people more or less social. Right? And so is social media. Because you could really feel like you're socializing on your phone in your bed, and then you order Uber Eats, and then you never go out.
No.
And is that good? I don't know. Some people inherently are introverts, right? But is that good for an introvert?
It's like good for an introvert. Broadway's like good for society. That's good too. Broadway's also good for health and wellness.
I don't think it's good for any of
for
them.
physical health.
Get out there and interact with people.
Especially for young people. Like, it's human connection is something that people are really striving to see. I mean, we've done a couple interviews with people that are working in that space, and I can tell you, Chef, that the tide is turning. That I just someone who, studies cultural elements and speaks about on this podcast for a living and sees the startups that are coming up, new businesses. I think we do recognize that there is a change that's coming, that the peak of that was roughly 2021 or 2022, and the change is coming, and people do want to get back to see each other in person.
I think so. You know, but it also gives people an out that think that they don't want to be social.
Right.
You know, I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I'm not an extrovert.
I think you are.
Yeah, you think I am, but I've trained myself to be able to just sort of communicate and go touch tables and meet people. In my business, it's important. But part of the reason I went into the kitchen to cook was because I wasn't that comfortable talking with people, you know, and I've developed that skill. I think it's an important skill in life and in my business. People want to meet the chef. So I developed it, but it wasn't a natural thing for me.
Well, I think we should transition to something I think is a natural thing to you.
Pizza.
As the author of Michael's Genuine Pizza.
Yeah, I was wondering why Leon hasn't been making get the pizza going.
Well, we're gonna do it now.
We're gonna get it going. You and I are gonna coach him.
Yeah.
And so I was delighted when you guys reached out and said you wanted to add a cooking component, and then I was surprised that you were very ambitious in the dish selection. But let's make pizza. So I think you got the pizza stone getting hot in the oven, set at 500 degrees. And you make dough.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. And then you picked a pizza from the book, which is an unlikely combination because there's no sauce.
Yeah.
You pick stinky cheese. We're gonna stink up this place. And so yeah, we can talk pizza all day long. I'll tell you a couple. So you're gonna make this.
Okay.
And so what I would do is I would push this over here, and then let's put a little dusting flour. And I'll tell you how I learned how to make pizza. And it was I was working in LA for 1 year for Wolfgang at a restaurant called Chinois on Main, and it was in the 80s. And it was and Chinois was his, so put that down. And Chinois was his Asian fusion restaurant, which is now sort of like everyone makes that food. But 40 years ago, nobody made that food. And it was mind-blowing for me. But I worked there, and I worked with a bunch of Japanese and Chinese cooks, and I made a friend with one of the Japanese chefs, and he introduced me to these people that wanted to hire me to consult for a California restaurant in Japan.
Oh, a California themed restaurant.
Correct. Outside of Tokyo, in a town called Kawasaki.
Oh,
Right, they make motorcycles,
yeah.
and they're known for the red light district, and it's a sort of blue collar town. And all right, so a little that. So here, let me do one here, and you do one there, and we'll do it together. And then I don't have to get up. I feel like
I'm just sitting here watching.
there is a chef that's known for Asian cuisine called Paul Prudhomme. You know who he is?
No.
He sort of revolutionized like Cajun cuisine in New Orleans, and he got very big in his later years, and he would just sit outside of his restaurant and welcome people. He was big, and he passed away, but I feel like Paul Prudhomme right now because I'm not getting up and I'm just telling you what to do. But so I didn't know how to make pizza. They wanted pizza on the menu. There was a Spago in Tokyo, and I knew the chef, and so his name was Sergio. And so Sergio at Spago in Tokyo taught me how to make pizza. The same day I went to this restaurant in Kawasaki that they were paying me to consult, and I taught the team how to make pizza.
There you go.
And so that's my so contrary to what you see like on YouTube. So we want to create the crust, right? So we just want to gently. Still is good. It's been sitting out and tempering for a little bit, so you don't want it super cold. I hope the recipe worked, right? And so you're just gonna like feel it, right? Just get a little feel for the dough. You're gonna pinch it around a little bit. You want to keep this. I like the crust, to be a little bit pronounced, but not like crazy pronounced, right? So I'm just gonna keep doing this. Or you can just start to do this. You're gonna start like stretching it a little bit. Wow.
I love this method. This is just the one hand method. There's not even two hands being used.
Well, you know, then there's the flipping, and there's a lot of different ways you can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you guys make a lot of pizza?
You know, less pizza than you would
You
think.
should have got a dough ball too.
Alright.
You feel left out?
I really don't. I don't.
Alright, so how's that going? So pick it up and put it on the back of your hand, just like that. Yeah, you want to keep from like doing this with your fingers.
Yeah, like poke.
Yeah.
On the knuckles?
Yeah. So you want to put it on the back of your hand, right?
Yeah.
And then just pull it a little bit, right? And then turn it, you know, a quarter turn and pull it. And then another quarter turn. So now I'm pulling from the top, you know? Or you could try this one, the gravity method. I'm just pinching,
when I was practicing at home,
pinching around the crust. So you're maintaining that crust. See, I got a little hole, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it.
That's definitely, see a hole coming.
So now put it down and let's assess. So yours look better than mine. That's really good. So for the hole, we just sort of like pinch it and push that over, and then we're good, right? So grab the pizza peel. Yeah, so I see you have a rolling pin, and we don't use rolling pins.
Okay.
But this dough,
Yeah.
we use this dough to make pita too. So if you're making pita, you just roll it out with a pin, and then put it in the hot oven.
Really?
Yeah, we could try one.
Oh, that's sick.
Also on the stone.
Yeah, you want it hot. And the fun thing about pizza now is there's all these ovens, you know, like Uni and Rockbox.
Right,
These ovens
right.
that get to 800 degrees.
How do you feel about this?
I love them.
Okay, my dad has some too.
I have a Rockbox at home. I prefer Rockbox over Uni, but I'm not getting paid to say that. And they're both good.
Yeah.
But they get super hot.
Mm.
Now we don't bake our pizza at 800 degrees because the dough has honey in it, and it'll burn. So usually 650 is like a sweet spot for us. Yeah. So this one's gonna get fontina cheese, which we love. We use a lot at our pizzerias. And it's a great melting cheese, and it's pretty mild. So fontina we like to mix with either mozzarella or any cheese, and in this case it's taleggio, which is a little bit funky and mushroomy and a little bit
It's
stinky.
really hard to find pleasure.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So gorgonzola is another one that's pretty close, but so let's put the dough on here. So put it on the back of your. Yeah. What I would do is just this. I would do that,
Oh, okay.
and then just lay it on there, right? Or you could slide it on.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna top it, right?
Yeah.
All right. The chef's got this.
Alright, he's got it.
Is it shredded cheese?
Yeah. So I think it takes the fontina and the taleggio, and then there's some figs.
Yeah, we got the figs.
And is there onion?
No, I think we have arugula topping on top.
Okay.
We do have onion.
Yeah, I think the recipe, I think you didn't follow the recipe. Because I think the recipe has like some grilled onions on it or something. Maybe not, I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the book for a long time. But like I said, it's pretty, there's no bad pizza.
Right.
You know, and so some cheese and dried figs and arugula on top. So
Pizza's a part of the culture. Pizza, not just my culture, as an Italian American. I think pizza's a part of culture broadly.
American.
Yeah, generally. It is the American export for food. I went to Japan for the first time in January, and I had some incredible pizza in Japan.
Well, you know,
which
the
is crazy.
The Japanese, and I don't mean this disparagingly because they're awesome, but they just freaking do everything better.
Yeah.
They just do. They're the singular focus on an ingredient or a method or a technique, and they just master it. And they just make everyone look good.
So what inspired you to make a pizza cookbook?
So, you know, I was forced to learn how to make pizza.
Yeah.
And then when we opened Michael's Genuine, pizza was a very important component. I wanted to explore pizza, so we put a wood-burning oven in Michael's Genuine. And
That is pretty funky, man.
yeah, there's some funk to that. I'll tell you a funny Taleggio story.
Oh, I love a funny story about a cheese.
Yeah, so we put the pizza oven in, but I wanted to make other things. So the wood oven at Michael's Genuine is used to roast whole fish and whole chickens and big cuts of meat and vegetables and pizza.
Oh, wow.
And so pizza was a big sort of component of the menu of Michael's Genuine. And then shortly after we opened, there was an opportunity to take a space in the design district that had the same exact oven, and it was a pizzeria. And so, yeah, that's good. And then just spread those around. And so we opened Harry's Pizzeria, and it was this pizza, and it was like a little sort of offshoot of Michael's Genuine, just focusing on the pizza.
Who's Harry?
So Harry's my son.
Aw, nice.
And was my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
So I named my son after my grandfather, and then the pizzeria after them both.
That's wonderful.
And Harry is a great drummer, but he's a pretty good cook, and he works at Harry's in Miami Beach. That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty good pizza maker. He's a giant. He's a beast of a drummer.
Beast of a drummer.
Yeah.
There's some synergy, I think, from being a chef and being a drummer.
I don't know, man. I was never a drummer. I mean, I play guitar a little bit, but I don't know for sure.
There's a bit of a vibe similarity. Some rock star elements to both. Certainly
I
a little bit of
guess.
chaos, but
Sure.
controlled chaos.
Yeah, but that like 4-way independence thing, I wouldn't do the onion.
No.
Unless you're gonna cook it. I mean, we could put some raw onion on there. It's like you just freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle.
I like the freestyle.
Check it
No,
out.
You're freestyle.
We can stick to the regular.
No, you let me see the book.
All right, let's see if we actually screw up. That's the first thing.
I believe 140.
We studied up these.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong? Okay.
Oh, this was a good one. No, not that one.
Zucchini,
Zucchini pizza. No, it was the pastrami pizza. So we did a collaboration years ago with Katz's.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's my favorite place in the world.
Yeah,
It's
so-
the best $30 you ever spent. It's so expensive. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So they did a promotion, I'm gonna say 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was called Casa Pastrami.
Okay.
And they engaged all these chefs to create a dish with their pastrami, and then they had to pass it on to a friend of theirs.
Okay. Cool.
And so my friend in Philly passed me the pastrami. His name is Mark Vetri. He's a
Awesome.
great chef. He's amazing Italian chef. And he passed me the pastrami, and I made a pastrami pizza, and it was like freaking ridiculous.
Fire.
So every once in a while, I don't know what this pizza is, we do, we make pastrami in Michael's Genuine. You just concentrate.
Is California figs or?
Yeah, those are good. The black mission figs, they have a lot more flavor.
Okay.
I'm just thumbing through this right now. I'm not even
Trip down
paying
memory
attention.
lane.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, yeah, we make pastrami at Michael's Genuine. That's pretty good. The pastrami sandwich at Michael's Genuine is ridiculously good.
We will have to try. We have not gone yet.
So it's slow roasted pork pizza with fig and grilled red onion?
No, it has it's fake pizza with Taleggio and
I could try it.
yeah.
There's the process in the beginning. You're trying to get back to. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think you're right.
We can make an addition.
Damn it.
Version 2.
I don't even know my own cookbook.
It would make sense. Like,
No, this is good with crushed red pepper. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
a little bit of arugula.
Okay. Yeah, we'll finish it with arugula.
Yeah. Nice.
Sprinkle it before or after?
Yeah, sprinkle it on there, and then put a little salt on there too, and then we'll fire that up on the pizza stone.
Amazing.
Yeah, Katz's, and so yeah, we do a bunch of like different collaborations. We've done a hometown barbecue one.
Oh, all from Brooklyn.
Yeah, and here.
And here too.
Yeah. So we've done a brisket pizza.
All over
with
that.
lamb ball.
Yeah.
And we're currently running a jerk chicken pizza with a restaurant called Jerk, J-R-K.
Awesome.
Local,
Very cool.
Jamaican situation.
I can't believe you mentioned Katz's in hometown. Those are they're super well known in New York. They're
Yeah.
two of my favorite places
Yeah.
personally, so it's awesome. I think you know, the concept of cats is something that I hope it never goes away. I want to have like a big party at Katz's one day. Me and my girlfriend have said we had to do a birthday party every year. It keeps getting progressively bigger, which is a beautiful thing. It's nice. But like one day, I want it to be at Katz's. Yeah, whatever. Have to give them so much cash to be able to do a party at Katz's. But people do rent out Katz's.
Did you inquire?
Oh, I haven't inquired yet. I think if this podcast goes very well, then I'll be able to inquire. But
Yeah, no, I'll connect you with the guy. He's a nice guy. He's a young kid that sort of took over that iconic business.
I'm so glad about that. That's great.
And then he started to do, you know, like a little bit of PR around it. And then they got more into
I think
shipping.
do Gold Belly. Yeah, that's how people around the
That's all new.
about them. Yeah.
Yeah, see, does it start?
It's a little stuff.
Let's see. Yeah, that's always a. Yeah,
There we go. Gotta work with it.
All right, you feel confident?
Oh, I feel it. For the stove? For the
Yeah,
oven?
pushing that in there.
Yeah.
You got one shot.
One shot. Oh,
Is smoking.
that's
Is that good?
Yeah, let's go quick.
yeah.
Nice. Keep that oven closed. Keep that heat in there.
All right.
Pretty good.
That's
Tired.
Leon is detail oriented.
I tried
Michelin star.
Michelin star.
I tried it.
We're gonna talk about your background a bit. Give. But talk about yourself to Chef Michael. Come on.
Personally, well, so as everyone in COVID, we all lost our jobs. And so I tried to pursue my passions in culinary. Found a gig as a private chef for a big crypto company. And then
I don't think I knew the crypto company side.
yeah, so
You were a private chef.
This crypto companies, like I was cooking for their lunches. My third ever time cooking for them, I had to cook for 400 people. And
What?
halfway through, it was like an investor gala. And halfway through, I ran out of food, totally missed time. I had to run across the street to Whole Foods, come back, chicken wings.
Did they know?
They knew, but the kitchen was like in the middle of everything. So
Oh, no way.
super flustered, but no, it was a great experience. Cooked for their.
It was a great experience. Now you can talk about it.
You look back on it.
Back then, it was intense. Barbecues. It was a beautiful space. I mean, think about it. That was the boom of crypto. So
Now it's happening again.
now
As we
it's
speak.
happening again as we were speaking. And then, I felt like I reached a creative peak. I remember specifically like the guy who hired me was like, we don't want you to be experimental. We want you to cook something that you know how to cook. Because I was trying to I was having fun, and then I kind of got ahead of myself, started cooking recipes that I was playing around with it. That's how Antonio and I, really bonded during COVID. We lived across the street from each other, and we just went over and experimented. So
Yeah. Did this thing called Dinner with the Pals. We'd have our friends over.
Yeah.
And just made some absolutely random things. But it was fun, dude. It's cool.
Cooking's fun.
Always.
And so, I went to get my basic training in culinary school, did my externship at James Kent, the late James Kent's restaurant. Somehow, I actually stopped at Crown Shy, which is their one-star Michelin on the first floor. When the day before,
And they're like, no, you are too Michelin star worthy.
yeah, the day before I was starting externship, they're like, we're actually moving you up to Saga on the 64th floor, overlooking all of New York.
Were you intimidated?
100%. Like literally the first day, they were yelling 2 top, 3 top, whatever.
All the restaurant lingo.
I had no idea. I just was.
Did you go home and watch a tutorial on YouTube? See, that's
I did.
the shit you could do.
Yeah.
I did. And also at that time, The Bear was on, so that really zoned me in. I remember, for that big gala I was talking about, I was just prepping in my living room on the couch while watching The Bear. So
Nice.
It was a really interesting experience.
It was so great that you got right out of the restaurant.
Well, yeah, it's first ever kitchen job in a Michelin is unheard of.
That's crazy.
It's
How long did you work there?
I worked for roughly half a year almost.
Do you miss it?
I do. Some days I wish, I kind of have spurts of flashbacks in the kitchen. I very zoned in.
Right.
Yeah, so I do sometimes miss it.
You made some good friends.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best part is the camaraderie. You know, the job is so hard, and you get paid shit. You know, but there's some good stuff that comes out, like friendships.
The hours are.
How you looking in there?
It's good. We are waiting for it to crust up.
Yeah, that's good though. Yeah, the biggest mistake people make when they make pizza is they put too much shit on it. You know, and so that the whole less is more thing. You know, we do pizza classes at Harry's, and sometimes it can be like as many as 40 people.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool because we have this rotating deck oven at Harry's, and it's the only way we can teach that many people and remember whose pizza is whose.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I always tell people. It's like just put less stuff, just back off a bit, and because that looks like it's a little bit heavy. With cheese, a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
But that's all. That's the whole pizza is just cheese.
Right.
There's no sauce.
Yeah.
And cheese is a sauce. Is cheese a sauce? I guess when it's melting, cheese sauce.
Cheese sauce. It's a sauce. Cheese on itself. You know, we have a lot of pizzas that don't have sauce, though. I'm a fan.
If you were to expand Michael, genuine hospitality food, would you see pizza as an opportunity to expand?
So, it's a great question.
Yeah.
We did an expansion.
Okay.
And we failed.
All right.
So I opened Harry's Pizzeria on North Miami Avenue, and then I opened one in Coconut Grove.
Okay.
And the Coconut Grove location did really well.
Awesome.
And we looked at it as a business model and said, okay, well, if we could just do 10 of those, like this is classic. Like
Yep.
if it was easy to scale, everyone would scale.
Right.
And so let's just do 10 of those. So we went out and raised a bunch of millions of dollars, and you know, did some market research and hired a bunch of people, and we changed the name from Harry's Pizzeria to Genuine Pizza.
Okay.
Because we thought genuine carried a lot of weight.
Of course.
You know, and no one knew who Harry was anyway.
I had to ask too.
Right, and we opened a bunch of genuine pizzas in downtown Dadeland, and Aventura, and Atlanta, and we had this expansion plan. Yeah, we wanted to see how it would play outside of our market, and we had plans to open in Cleveland, and we found it to be very difficult, and it didn't fare well. And to be honest, like the pizzeria when we opened it used to run at about 20% profitability, which is awesome.
Great.
But I think this was like pre-COVID, and it was like pre-Uber Eats boom.
Right.
And that delivery model really disrupted the industry, and especially for expensive pizza, right? For grown-up pizza. And you know, they take a big part of your margins, and our pizza wasn't really engineered for massive delivery. So there was just a bunch of things that just weren't working in our favor, and then the margin shrunk because of delivery, and so it was a fairy tale that never came true.
Do you think you have to be in the delivery world these days to be able to succeed as a restaurant?
That's a great question too, and I don't know the answer, except to say, you know, it's a leap of faith to try. You know, you want to give up that business. It's a little bit of, is it the halo effect from their marketing?
Right.
Is it incremental, or so I don't have the answer to that.
The halo effect of marketing is very interesting. It's almost like, I guess, Uber Eats or DoorDash becomes like the Google search for restaurants. I never thought of it that way. I don't think I've ever.
Let's look, Leanna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice one.
Let's look. See if you pick up and look. Let's look at the bottom. Oh yeah, that's done.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Only 10 minutes. Quick.
Perfect.
Yeah. So in the restaurant, that takes 2 minutes.
That's great.
But 10 minutes is good. That's a good pizza.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd be proud of that.
I'm stoked. As someone who hasn't contributed at all. I guess I drove the car here, that's the one thing.
Yeah.
But as someone who
Well,
hasn't.
you're here. You were, you were involved in some banter.
Yeah, we're bantering. We've also had a couple tries on this, I'm not gonna lie.
Is that right?
Yeah, we got a couple tries.
I
Yeah.
with mozzarella because we couldn't find Taleggio until last night.
Yeah.
So the Taleggio story, this one's pretty mild.
Yes.
Should I cut it now or?
Yeah, no, cut it.
Sweet.
I ran a pizza with Taleggio at Genuine, and it was before we renovated. We renovated like 3 years ago, and we pushed the dining room further away from the kitchen, but the main dining room was right at the open kitchen, and Taleggio stunk, and the pizza stunk, but it tasted really good.
Yeah,
you know, and lots of people didn't like smelling Taleggio, and people would leave.
Wow.
Something smells in here.
Is Taleggio cow milk?
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a real, this is a pretty mild one.
Yeah.
But that looks awesome. Damn.
There we go. All
I
right.
appreciate the guidance.
Yeah.
It's just.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know, I got more dough balls.
I love a white creamy cheese like that. It's always something.
Are you going to make that one?
Yeah.
No, you can.
Yeah.
I put some meatball on there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And throw some meatball. Throw some meatball.
No. Relax and enjoy it.
Please.
Please.
Thank you, Chef. All right.
What's that guy, that annoying guy that reviews the pizza?
Dave Portman. We have a series coming out.
One bite, everyone knows.
One bite, everyone knows the
And then
rules.
he takes 10 bites.
Yeah.
How does he do that?
I don't know. The worst version of that would be somebody that reviews bagels while talking to owners of businesses, and I can't even imagine somebody that would do that. It's coming out next week. It's
Right on.
But yeah,
That's a little bit hot. I'm gonna cheers.
yeah. We can wait a bit and see what
I
I
might make it a second. Look at that.
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, this is
What
beautiful.
like what defines a good pizza?
See, for me, like this isn't everything. Like if it's, right, he would say it's got a great undercarriage, and it doesn't
No
flop. But in Naples, it's soup in the middle. That's how they like it. So it's this big fluffy crust around, and it's soup in the middle, and you can never do this.
Yeah.
And then our dough, this dough, has a little bit of whole wheat.
Right.
There's a little bit of honey.
Right.
There's a little bit of beer.
Right.
in the recipe. So there's this is like an evolution of trial and error through the years, and it's still evolving.
Right.
But so it's like a sort of pseudo Neapolitan American mashup, and we prefer to use American flour. We use King Arthur, and so it's decidedly American version of pizza. And Italians, would be like, why are you doing it? Like they have a lot of rules about pizza.
So many rules.
What
It's
not
very
to do,
frustrating.
and honey, what?
Yeah.
Beer, whole wheat. But for me, it gives it some character and some flavor. And
Let's see. Here we go.
Oh yeah. You get the funk of the Taleggio.
Wow.
Much mild.
Very mild.
Great.
This is we've made so many pizzas over the past 3 days.
Is that right?
This is the best one. I can honestly say that this is the best one. That's all I can say. Yeah.
It's great. Good job. Wow. I'll take all the credit.
Your book. Genuinely from him.
Yeah, not bad.
No onion though.
Because there's a pork pizza that has fig and caramelized onion. And it's also in here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I put both, because they're very similar. But
We thought, because we have the meatball going, we probably didn't need much protein. But it's
right. Good amount of chili. Delicious.
Perfect. Let's think about the future a bit. I guess for you, but also for the restaurant industry generally. Where do you think things are going? We've hit on a lot of topics, right? We've hit on delivery. We've hit on the social mediaification of things. But maybe some like, you know, alternative takes on where you think things are going. Hot takes.
Where I'd like them to go, or where I think they're going?
I feel like the way you think they're going is going to be unfortunate and maybe a bit discouraging. So we can start with where you want them to go, and then we'll go to where you're
Very
going.
funny.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to think that it's going to come back to simplicity and the things that I outlined about what I wanted my restaurant to be and what dining should be. I would like to think that. And Miami's an interesting market, and I'm never going to bash Miami. It's my home. I raised a family here. I have businesses here, but it's unique, and it's very much about entertainment.
Right.
And so, you know, Miami's going to continue to see this sort of migration of people from all over the world, opening big, flashy, fancy, entertaining restaurants. And within that, there's always going to be a subsection of talented young chefs and entrepreneurs that open cool shit that often will get overshadowed by these big, splashy, fancy restaurants. But the good news is that there's that other side of the coin, and it's happening, and it will continue to happen. And by the way, Miami's seen this before, but not at this scale. You know, so I would say in waves, there's this influx of people that come from other parts of the country or the world that open here, restaurants. But by far, this latest wave has been the biggest.
So do you think that while everyone in Miami is going extravaganza to the right, you're going to the left with farm to table stuff?
I'm just going out to eat.
Just going out to eat.
I'm just, looking for that, and whatever. It could be farm to table, although, that's sort of a term that I think is more out its welcome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, to the extent, at Michael's Genuine, we used to champion the farmers, put their names on the menu, and call it local stuff as much as we could. And then it got to the point where we just were known for that. So we stopped doing it. Then the world changed, and then people don't know that that's what we do. We're in the design district, and 18 years ago there was nothing in the design district. And if you went to the design district, it was because you're going to Michael's.
Right.
And you knew what we were about. Fast forward to now, most of the people in the design district don't know what Michael's Genuine is, and they're not there for Michael's Genuine. So we feel like we have to sort of tell them what we are and who we are. So we're seeing a little bit of that, but
And that's a challenge, right? Because this is a different clientele than you've experienced. And it's super new still, in the context of an 18-year-old business. It's only been 2 years since this.
I think 4 or 5 years, but still, it's still growing, which is great. No complaints from me.
Yeah.
The design district now is the mecca, and it's like Rodeo Drive. You can come to Michael's Genuine at 4:30 in between lunch and dinner. It's cool. And so that wouldn't happen if it wasn't a shopping area, and there wasn't people walking by and lots of foot traffic. So yeah, plenty of young, talented chefs and entrepreneurs doing cool stuff. Often overshadowed by the big splashy stuff.
Right.
And then, so what I think is going to happen is just more of that. And but we'll see. If I had a crystal ball,
If you had a crystal ball, I think you've had somewhat of a crystal ball. You haven't been able to predict trends, right?
I don't think so. I didn't move to the design district and think that it was going to be a luxury shopping mecca. But I've been lucky enough to just, like I said, cook things in an environment that resonated with people, and then some people would say that I had vision or foresight, or I just think I got lucky.
Hey, that's why you're on the show. Koyos is the Greek title of intelligence and foresight. So we try to have people on that relate to that.
So I'm curious, for Michael's Genuine, you guys do breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Just
Lunch and dinner.
Right. So what is that like, especially since your menu is changing every single day?
It's chaos. It's a little bit of organized chaos. So in the beginning, we were dinner only for a very short time. Then we were lunch and dinner, and there was always a break. Saturday, we wouldn't have lunch because there was no walk-by traffic, and Sunday we would do brunch. But as the years progressed, so we're open every day, and so from 11:30 straight through to close, because there's traffic, and then on Sunday we open at 11 for brunch, straight through to close. And so the lunch menu is different than the afternoon menu, which is different than the dinner menu, and then there's the happy hour menu. And then on Sunday there's the brunch menu. And so it's a lot of shit. And so if you work in a restaurant, you know that the transition between lunch and dinner is a tough one. And usually restaurants hard close and push the reset button, especially because those menus are different. There's some crossover, but the menus are different.
Right.
And the menus get printed every day. And every day we're sort of tinkering and adding things and taking things off. So it's chaos. And it's my least favorite time of the day, that transition when I usually dip out and I come back after it's settled down because it's crazy. And like I said, the afternoon menu sometimes is full. I mean, the restaurant gets full. And so we're slinging pizzas and burgers and salads and things, you know, getting ready for a little bit of a refined dinner menu.
Right.
And it's tough, man. It's not, you know, people that have worked at Michael's Genuine, and there's a lot of chefs in Miami now that are Michael's Genuine alumni that have gone on to open successful restaurants, but they'll all tell you that that's like the grinder.
Right.
And if you can make it through that restaurant, you'll come out the other end being a better chef or cook or pastry chef or manager or whatever it is. It's a busy, boisterous, small facility that just doesn't stop.
Chef Michael Schwartz, School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, that's your tryout today. Here you go.
Yeah, you should come over and stage.
I'll definitely do it if I find time during.
We'll be calling 2 tops and 3 tops. But you know now, you watched the Bear, you watched a couple. No, man, you survived 6 months at a 2 Michelin star restaurant in New York.
We do want to move on to this little segment where we kind of have a fun game called this or that.
Okay.
We want you to, you know, either it's your preference or, you know, what do you just your preference. What do you like better?
Okay.
And it's mainly,
Is it a rapid fire situation?
Sort of.
Yeah. So this is kind of for the people who are maybe tuning in to perhaps get some cooking tips.
Okay.
You know, like we haven't really gotten into that as much. You know,
Yeah.
we're a business show. We don't give
Just
more
read the
business.
book.
We got a
Look at a YouTube video.
book. It's not everything, but
Learn everything you need.
we'll do this in a quick format. So
yeah, the first is cast iron or non-stick pans.
Never non-stick. Cast iron is non-stick, and so is stainless for that matter. If you treat it right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick tip on how to make a stainless steel skillet non-stick.
Okay.
Right? If it's good quality, all clad or made in, right? So put it on a burner, put it on high, put some oil in there, good amount of oil, right? And bring it up slow and swirl it the whole time. And swirl it and swirl it. Then it'll start to come up to smoking. Pull it off, keep swirling for about a minute. Dump that oil out, boom, non-stick pan. Never non-stick.
Never.
Like once a year.
Once a year.
We use some non-stick pans sometimes in the restaurants for eggs, for brunch.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because a cook's not going to do that swirl thing.
Yeah.
Next is fresh herbs or dried spices.
Yes, both.
Well,
And so I was never a fan of dried like herbs, typically, except oregano. Right? Oregano gets a hall pass all the time. But my girlfriend is from the Middle East, and she loves dried mint. And I got into it. And at first I was like, why use fresh mint? But it's different.
Tea or
Not for mint tea, for cooking, for fillings, for whatever it is. Yeah, I also poo-pooed an air fryer and now love the air fryer.
Ooh.
Separate discussion.
okay. Seared or slow cooked?
Depends.
Steak.
Depends. Steak?
Yeah.
Reverse sear.
Reverse seared.
Yeah, you guys down with reverse
Yeah.
sear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What
100%.
What temperature?
What temperature do I finish it at?
Oven. Yeah.
Oh, so it's got to go super low. I think 200, but you want to bring this internal temperature up to about 120,
Okay.
110, and then you want to sear it hard, and then depending on what temperature you want to finish it at. But I'm a huge proponent of reverse sear. Although I've been cooking steaks in a cast iron in my rock box pizza oven on my terrace.
Oh.
And so just temper the meat, leave it out for at least a half an hour, 45 minutes, and then just hard sear, and then let it rest.
That's a vibe.
And
So good.
I mean, this was controversial back maybe 2 decades with sous vide versus grill.
Yeah, I'm a never sous vide guy.
Never sous vide, interesting.
I mean, very rarely. Really never.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
never sous vide. Yeah, grill that shit. Light a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a sweet or savory person?
Both.
Both.
But I do have a sweet tooth. I'm the person that will never order dessert. But if you order it,
You'll have it.
I will eat the whole thing.
Farmers market finds or grocery store staples?
Yeah, I mean, farmers market finds for the inspo.
Do you like classic recipes or experimental fusion?
Yeah, I would lean towards classic recipes typically.
Simple.
And then I'll adapt those recipes. For me, usually a classic recipe, you add like lots of fresh herbs at the end, really brightens it up and it sort of modernizes it. I'm a huge proponent of contrasting textures and temperatures and colors.
Okay. Finally, butter, olive oil, or something else?
Yeah, both.
Both.
Really, also depending. And I'll tell you, the misconception is that olive oil is healthier for you, but I don't think it is.
Oh. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the calories
Yeah.
on olive oil versus butter,
Yeah.
really depends on what style you're cooking.
Yeah.
But olive oil just seems to be a little lighter, brighter. Butter's a little heavier. I like it.
That's good. That's fantastic. And also, just to follow up in this playful group, what's one kitchen tool that you recommend everyone should have?
Kitchen tool. So there's a couple that come to mind, like a Japanese mandolin for me.
What?
Yeah.
Good.
Japanese mandolin is an important one, but I will say that it's good peppermill, and I geek out on this shit. And so when I see the guy at the restaurant with that peppermill thing, it drives me crazy. So there's a peppermill that you can buy. It's called a unicorn.
Okay.
You buy it on Amazon. It's like $49, and it's really good. You know, like one turn you see there's a lot of pepper, but there's one that came out a couple years ago. It's called the Pepper Cannon.
The pepper cannon.
Just like shoot out.
No, and it's not electric at all. But you turn that thing once, and it's like, and it's $200.
Oh, wow.
It's a $200 peppermill. But I'm telling you, I have a little one too.
But what about one that everyday people can get access to?
I would say the unicorn.
The unicorn one?
Yeah, it's $49.
Mhm.
Get a good peppermill.
Yeah.
If you have to do this like more than 4 times to get
Yeah.
some pepper, you know, it's super annoying. So yeah, mandolin's a good one too though, and a sharp knife.
Sharp knife. In my little bit of culinary school that I did in technical high school, I learned the most dangerous knife is a dull knife.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I cut myself good with a super sharp knife. Thank God it was super sharp, right to the bone.
Oh,
Nice
man.
cut. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why I pointed that out. It was super sharp, and I was mad at that knife.
I got called out multiple times on occasion when I was working for having a dull knife.
Yeah. Or I remember working for Wolfgang at Chinois. It's the first time I used the Japanese mandolin. And oh yeah, that first cut on a Japanese mandolin's no joke either. So yeah, it says in Japanese right on the side, watch your fingers.
And the question that our intern Devin asked, what dish would you cook for your family?
Yeah, that's a good and bad question. You know, because it depends, like, and so my daughter's a vegetarian and the thing, and then the other the other question people ask me a lot is like, what's your favorite thing to cook? And I can never answer that, or what's my favorite kind of cuisine. I mean, for me, it's always inspired by the time and the place and what is available, you know? And it doesn't mean I have to be at a farmer's market and find some super, you know, cool thing. It could be anywhere, at a convenience store or in a supermarket or, you know, Costco or wherever. And so usually when I cook at home, it's always simple, you know, it's simple protein, lots of vegetables, salad, and like I said, contrasting temperature, texture, color, but a lot of vegetables for me. I know it's a shitty answer, sorry.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think now we do have another segment for you that we'd like to get into, which is more of a rapid fire, but we would like answers to be only within 3 words. So all the answers can be within 3 words.
Are you saying that I'm long-winded?
We appreciate long-winded. This is a long-form show. However, for this one specifically, we'd like to see the thoughts that you have on the inside and what's in that stream of consciousness.
Okay.
So,
First one, in 3 words or less, describe your cooking style.
Fresh, simple, pure. It's easy.
What's your favorite ingredient?
what's your favorite dish? Not what's your favorite dish. One word.
Favorite ingredient?
To let you know.
No, I mean, I would say, like, most important ingredient for me is good salt, good olive oil, and I love tomatoes.
Salt, olive oil, and tomatoes. That's 3.
What's a dish you could eat forever?
Who wrote these questions? No, I'm just kidding. A dish that I could eat forever. Pizza.
Pizza.
No, I couldn't eat pizza. I just freaking. Yeah.
You have 3 words.
It would have to be like fish.
That's what Miami's known for, seafood.
Miami has such great fish. It's really not even that widely known. You know? Yeah. Pompano, tilefish, stone crabs, grouper, snapper, mackerel.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your dream kitchen in 3 words?
Dream kitchen. All wood. All wood fire. No gas.
Nice. Favorite Miami food spot aside from the restaurants?
Yeah, that's the way you do favorite. Favorite Miami food spot. Next, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What's the first thing you cook in the new kitchen, your all-wood kitchen?
Oh. Fish.
And how do you like your eggs?
You know, that's a good one too. So my favorite way to cook eggs is shallow fried in extra virgin olive oil. And this is sort of not really intuitive because you don't really cook like olive oil smoking. But
Right.
So skillet, a good half an inch of good olive oil, smoking. Pour the eggs in, and then you spoon the hot oil over the eggs. You baste it with hot oil, so they get crispy on the bottom, but the yolk's still runny.
Isn't that both? I saw a video of both.
You could, I mean, that's the best way. And then I usually take the egg out, put salt and pepper on it, and then I throw parsley leaves into the oil, and they get all crispy and make a big splatter of mess everywhere. Yeah.
Love everybody cook.
Yeah.
Most underrated cooking technique, or
Most underrated cooking technique. Well, the most overrated cooking technique is sous vide. The most underrated poaching.
poaching. Yeah.
Yeah. When's the last time you poached up some chicken?
No.
It's freaking delicious.
I gotta try.
You should try it. Make sure low and slow, super low simmer, juicy.
And finally, the biggest lesson in the industry.
In 3 words. Your whole career in 3 words.
Just pay attention.
I think that applies to a lot of different jobs.
Yeah, that's 2 words. Care. Yeah, pay attention. Like, care. So, yeah, like give a shit. Like give a shit. That's
Yeah.
3 words.
Yeah.
That's good. Give a shit.
Every time you go the other.
That's 3 words. That's 9 words.
Extra advice from Chef Schwartz. Okay. Cool. Well, we are getting to the end of our time here. So we do want to ask a couple final questions. So what do you hope is the next, what do you hope for the next chapter, Genuine Hospitality Group?
You know, we as a company have spent the last 2.5, 3 years just refining what we do, being a better place to work, being, you know, more mindful and more profitable. And so for me, just, I think continuing that and finding balance between, you know, going down rabbit holes and enjoying my time.
Is there any cuisine that you would like to potentially explore into?
Always. You know, so last year I went to Thailand and it was an eye-opener for me. Also spent a ton of time in Mexico last year and throughout my entire career. So for me, I think it's just continuing to explore new cuisines. There's so many places I haven't been. Going to Austria this year for New Year's, I'm excited about. Not so much for the cuisine, but there's so much good food everywhere. And so I think, I don't know yet. It's just exploring foods that I have not yet.
Always.
Yeah, always.
If you could pick one nation to only eat their food for the rest of your life,
Yeah,
where would it be?
it's a good one. I think it would have used to have been Japan.
That's the
So
classic.
good, pure, simple. But man, I'll say it could be Mexico. And not typical like Mexico, but if you go in Mexico, interior, and just go in, that food is so complex and layered and textured and rich with history and tradition. That could be a good one. And Thailand was mind-blowing for me. Just the explosion of flavor and acid, and texture, and temperature. So, yeah, no answer.
It feels like Mexico would be your answer.
Mexico is magical, really. We planted it in Oaxaca for 3 weeks and just did like sort of the you know, have to go to 17 different places and just stayed in one spot. And it was awesome.
So that's incredible.
I feel like American cuisine people, they feel like Mexican food is just like tacos.
Yeah, burritos.
They don't really explore that.
No,
much.
it's intricate and complex and so good. Mole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Love a good mole.
getting hungry now.
More pizza. All right, Michael. Well, thank you so much for being here today. For teaching us how to make pizza, teaching us the ways to lead a genuine life. You know, it's not just about the pizza or about the restaurants. I think there's a lot of life lessons in this episode generally, so thank you.
I hope so. It was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Do you have anybody you want to shout out to the audiences?
Frank Crispo, you're the man.
Shout out, Frank. And where can people find you? More about Genuine Hospitality?
Yeah, me on Instagram at Chef Michael Schwartz or Chef M Schwartz. Yeah, at the restaurant, spending a lot of time. Michael's Genuine now. Amara at Paraiso, 2 pizzerias. Check out the book. And yeah.
Awesome. Any final pieces of advice?
No, man. Just do your thing.
Do your thing. That's a piece of advice in and of itself.
Do your
And
thing.
give a shit.
Hey, give a shit. Yeah, pay attention.
You leave every time you leave your door, you should think to yourself, "I'm going to give a shit today." If you do that,
well,
that's it.
usually I just tell myself not to fuck it up. That's my mantra to myself. But we could be better than that.
I think so.
Let's strive for better than not fucking it
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you so much.
up. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you both.
Yep.